welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons and critically fumble a lot. Critically succeed a lot, too. We had some interesting luck the last couple of sessions. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie ended up in the Elven Wild, uh, trying to deal with the layers of mess that are going on over there. Um, they're still looking for the Aranese and the giggling lunatic of unknown species and gender that are wandering around the place with a highly unstable radiant energy bomb, which, if set off, is entirely likely to destroy various bits of the fabric of reality and cause a second Shattered Lands situation, which would not be good for anybody. Currently, they are exploring the sort of southeast-ish kind of direction, um, figuring out more or less as they went that the fountain that the Marsh Witch was telling them about is effectively the heart of the Elven Wild, which is part of the reason why the last Egreffians who attempted to take some of the water for testing were taken by the Marsh Witch and turned into otters. Nobody knows if they still have any actual. I mean, they apparently have some kind of sapience because they keep their little hats and they have tea parties, but it's not. Nobody really knows if they know what they were anymore because it has been like centuries. So, but that's not your problem. Your problem is after a few encounters in the weirder parts of the Elven Wild that Rylan is now very much understanding why nobody from their settlement wanted to go anywhere near there. But it's not even all that terrifying. It's just really fucking weird. Which was proven when you ran into a walrus and a fairy, who apparently come as a double act. And they were going to show you to their habitation, apparently, to see what you guys want and get some information. Only when you were approaching a clearing, the walrus had just schlumphed out of the clearing when it kind of rolled back in with a pretty nasty gash in its side, looking very mistrustfully and very pissed off at whatever's out there. So is how are we dealing with this? Is this stampede or is this peeking?
Just glancing outside, see if we can see what caused
The
the injury.
big question is: are you leaving yourselves without any kind of cover?
No.
That I'm taking it that goes for the rest of you. I,
Peeking.
yeah, that's why peeking it means around a tree.
Yeah.
Looking means you're just standing there. You
e-
probably don't want to be just standing there because what seems to be rampaging around the clearing, it's clearly made of metal. It's kind of clunky looking. It classifies as gargantuan, and it has 5 different colored heads. Somebody has built a mechanical version of Tiamat.
Oh, great.
what is it with people and effigies, man?
It seems to be quite happily stomping around this clearing, or as happily as a gargantuan 5-headed mechanical monstrosity can actually be.
Teehee nightmare engine.
I mean, at least
sure the
it's a
walrus
sign
is
of
okay?
going in the right direction, right?
I think it depends on what we're looking for.
don't like any part of that.
What? How?
Alice looks at Remy, points at her wings. Somebody studied Negref. They do the impossible. You know this. You've met
You
Molly.
remember Molly? Exactly. Molly created animals from metal.
Hers look better.
Oh yes, definitely.
A lot better.
Do we want to make sure the
Yeah,
walrus?
There's a war still.
The walrus is heavily bleeding. The fairy uh wearing a quiver, but in it is a sewing needle and is stitching.
Oh,
Stitchy, stitchy, stitchy. Well, none of you were helping. Stitchy, stitchy, stitchy.
can lend a hand with that.
Well, it's a very big cut, and I am very small.
Sorry, I got a little confused as to where the walrus was because
Kind of
it sounded
behind.
like he was over there and we were in a
No,
hidden
kind of behind
location.
you. It rolled back into safety and cover because the walrus is fairly intelligent.
Yeah. Okay, so going to work with medical stuff and also apply any healing magic if I need to. Let's see what spells would make sense here.
I mean, it's still technically a creature.
Hmm.
Yep.
You can quite easily heal it as it is a creature. It just depends on.
Yeah, as I mostly because I don't want to seal the new stitching in with it quite so much,
Could you
but
ask the fairy to remove the stitching? The
could
fairy
you
doesn't know what you guys can do.
so that stitching, could you actually remove it? I can seal the whole cut at once.
Oh, you're one of those. Sorry. Snippy, 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 snippy. Basically using a rapier, which basically belongs on Barbie dolls. Snippy, 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 snippy. Yoink, 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 yoink. Sorry. Mm. And the stitches
One
are
and
removed.
two and 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be cure wounds. Let's start at base level.
Yeah, well, I mean, the wound seals up is obviously still, like, ow, but it'll do for the time being. You don't need to get this thing to full hit points. You just need to stop bleeding all over everything.
Yep. So that is a grand total of looks like 14.
And
would it be
Flitty,
15?
Flitty from Ryland's Scarf is going, you want me to get a closer look?
I would advise you to be careful, but I would
Hmm.
appreciate it if you wanted to.
Well,
And invisible.
I don't know if they, well, there's such a thing as true sight. They're fine to be careful, but I'm sure that I can stay out of the immediate line of whatever, if it has true sight. I don't know how you could imbue a me- metal thing. They don't have the word in Sylvan. Any,
I'm thinking back through what I remember of it. And
uh,
does Sylvan even have a word for construct?
I mean, it has a
I
word
don't
for
think.
construct. It just doesn't have a word for mechanical or metal, frankly.
What about construct? Would that work?
Yeah, but constructs I know are wood and clay and sometimes rocks and not ting ting.
It's still I would say it still counts as a construct. There's all the metal
Still
ones
could
in
be from
Egraph walking
material.
around.
Yeah, it's just they feel like a different thing because they're made in a different way.
That makes sense,
I
yeah.
The
understand.
Lyra lady always says that I'm picking up the Stan's whole thing about semantics.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
It is when it stops me from being a scout and fades into invisibility, and Rylan feels the little weight of Flitty leave the scarf. I mean, I don't know why it's here. I don't think that the world just. However weird this part of the Elven Wild is, I don't think this is natural. I don't think there's that
Definitely not.
much smelted metal in the entire Elven Wild. And
And the
why
only
is
thing
it
is,
just
if it's
stomping
been
around
started,
and.
hopefully it can be stopped.
Sorry, repeat that? You were a little quiet.
Sorry, I was just saying it. The only thing is, if it got started, hopefully it can be stopped without having to do the smashy smashy.
For all we
That's
know,
a
it
lot of
could be
smashy
an
smashy.
attempt by. Oh, sorry.
And I think Darwin said his piece. So what what was it, Hazel?
Some kind of a bush clearing contraption sent in by anybody. Well, sent in by Tiamat line stuff, and it just wandered off.
Hazel, you have you're a cleric. You have a great deal of faith with a capital F. Um, if you are worshiping your god, you're probably not going to use an effigy of it to do menial tasks.
And again, that would be that would be kind of, I guess,
Well,
sacrilegious is the word.
Also, there was already a clearing here
Who
from the
knows what they were
fairy.
trying to do with an effigy of their goddess before it, decided to do this.
I
I was
just want
just
to
supposed to be.
I just want to know how it got here. Wouldn't it have run into something else around here by now? I just want into my den.
How do we get it away from the way to it?
You see, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. This is why I am asking you, or telling
Yeah,
you. Shuri is just,
I,
as a construct, my usual way of doing it is not going to work.
I know stuff about dragons, but metal ones are a new thing.
anyone have
Um,
a way to cause a distraction in
hmm.
somewhere away from it? Lead it off? Or are we just going to try and do our
Try.
I
usual?
mean, yeah, I could possibly
I could
Uh,
try.
how far away?
because,
How far away do
well,
you have to be from it?
uh,
How far away
right.
can you stretch it?
I get the feeling you know what I'm thinking, but I think what we should do is wait until Flitty gets back because
Oh,
if it's Flitty, then my thing probably won't work.
A little while later, not too long, Rylan feels weight in scarf, kind of shivering. I live here now.
no.
Uh-oh.
It's big.
How much yikes is out there?
Well, it's mostly just the construct of the thing, but it's big, and I think all of its heads do a breathy and a bitey
Oh,
like the dragons do,
That tracks.
and I couldn't get too close because I think there's a shield. Not of the you can't get through it, but it makes your magic work less.
Oh, great.
Has a bubble of nope around it.
Yeah. Arcana check for anybody who's got the proficiency, or jack of all trades. Jack of all trades will work just fine.
Yeah, especially if it's. It sounds like it's
15.
got
That
something I can actually do, but it. And I. Well, let me see.
Is yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear that Cherie at the very least knows what is being talked about, but Clarity does get it as well. It doesn't sound like an anti-magic field of that type because it makes your magic less, not gone entirely. Um, it just means that it and probably anything around it or that it deems allies or whatever um, is resistant to any magical effects, be it detecting something that's magically invisible or picking out that something's an illusion, that kind of thing. Basically, it's if it's an effect on them, they've got advantage to resist. If it's something like invisibility or an illusion spell, they have advantage to figure it out.
So not really anti-magic field, more of a resistant to magic or um perceptive to magic, that sort of
Probably,
thing.
probably both.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then my idea probably might work, but more likely not. My luck.
I think it thought I was a leaf, which is
Oh, the
good
gods.
God.
because it's got the chompy, all kinds of chompy. The fire chompy and the ice chompy and the bzzzt chompy.
Oh, fantastic.
I don't know if you can see him from here, but also got wings. Molly Stormy had wings too, so they might even work.
I think that would be a good
Speaking of things
assumption.
having wings, I'm having flashbacks to the last time there was something that was an overgrown not even contraption, but the thing that was summoned around the heart of Starcoast.
Yeah, this is a lot less squishy.
Uh,
There were vents. I think all of you are too big to get into the vents. I think you have to be small to get into the vents, but it's very, very hot in there. So you might be able to do things on the inside, but I would get roasted.
And we do not want that, certainly.
The people who wrote the Wingy Ladies Cookery book want that, but the Wingy Lady's been very nice about not telling me about that. I don't think she'd ever do it anyway. Not to any fairy dragon, 'cause she likes us. 'Cause she is smart. Very good
yep.
replacement for my common sense. Or addition to, or something. Anyway, I live here now.
So
I'll
we
say, like,
have a
how,
magically resistant.
I mean, well, we have a magically resistant construct of. Do we have any, Flitty, sorry, do we have any clue about who made it? Well, I saw there was a camp around the edge of the clearing on the other side. We'd have to scrunch around, but we'd also have to be careful because if the people around the camp saw us, they'd probably just call that thing. And me living here now would not help all that much if it came to try to eat people. Also, I do not want the Elfie to get eaten. The Elfie
Well,
needs to have food, not be food.
does it look like there's anywhere we could sneak around it? Like
Oh,
at proper sneak?
well, there's the trees, but I don't know if that's sneaky sneaky, because there's the leaves and the twigs and the scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. But it doesn't seem to be paying too much attention unless anybody goes into the clearing. We just have to know in advance if anybody was peeping in around it's mostly Clarity who's doing a perimeter, because that's not really a word in Sylvan either. They're not the races that speak Sylvan are not generally speaking very warlike.
Do a perimeter around.
I guess that's how you say it in common. We just don't have a word.
Does that sound to anyone else like it's guarding something other than the camp?
I'm wondering
That's a
if
good
maybe
point.
it was a side project of a lunatic.
There's a similar thought, yes.
Similar, and it sure is. Or it's a lure. Given what
Could be.
given what Hazel was saying about using it as tree clearing would be considered blasphemous, I would imagine a living representation of Tiamat would be considered blasphemous in general to any Tiamat worshipper, as it does suggest that Tiamat could be replaced by something created by mortal hands.
That's true. Could it be a sign of defiance then?
Was to stop cultists from making things in her image just to say, look at how glad we are to serve her that we make things in her honor.
Or it could be the complete opposite, trying to lure people that worship Tiamat to it, thinking they should destroy it. And when they show up to destroy it, so
Given
may
that
not be a lure for bad.
given that they're going to want to get the attention of high-ranking soldiers, and perhaps, I mean, there's two possibilities there. Either the reaction of the higher-ups of Tiamat would be twofold. Number one, this is blasphemous, we must end it. Number two, they're trying to make a vessel for Tiamat.
I was thinking that.
And gestures at that. I imagine that if she freed herself, she could streamline its form to her liking.
Wait a second. She'd want to be, what, free herself, be here? Why would...
I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that particularly a giggling lunatic might think it was the case.
Yeah.
So
But
Tiamat's current vessel, possibly Arkin and his crew, any high-ranking who might want that out of the hands of its maker one way or another, they come here. They don't know exactly how much damage that bomb is going to do. But they can get the spark of Tiamat that's currently wandering around in mortal form. They might be able to draw out the rest if they have that kind of power, which I imagine research enough they might have found something. And remember, they don't know what level of damage that bomb is going to do. It's possible that they're ensuring that they take out as much of what they perceive the threat to be as possible.
And they perceive a threat. Sorry, it's just something keeps scratching at the back of my head, and it's.
I mean, additionally, that black nonsense wants Tiamat. I imagine it's a whole lot easier to control a tainted mechanical vessel.
That's what's been scratching. Okay, so just remember that whole thing about a fountain or a font?
Yes.
That we heard mentioned. So, what's another word for that?
Alice and Cherie in unison. Wellspring.
We've only heard about those from the everything is exploding, soul taint everywhere. That happens when someone just, I guess, taps it or what have you. But apparently those just exist normally. And the only time we've had, like, problems with them is when somebody started digging for it. And sounds like this is the first time we've tripped over one that hasn't been cracked open.
Sounds more like the first one we've seen that hasn't been corrupted.
Or in some way exploited, yeah.
I think corrupted about solves it. Remy Barnes.
Still weird for
I'm
a
assuming
fountain of soul yikes to be something that's corruptible.
well, it's coming from the earth. Or going into it. Or both.
This is going to be a very, very strange encounter.
Hazel, dear, you've just finished doctoring a walrus.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm calling it strange, because we've already hit peak weird and it seems to be just piling on.
Incidentally, Michigan has apparently decided that the walrus makes a very good bed. Loaf. The walrus is looking at this thing like, excuse the hell out of me, kind of expression.
Sir, do you have any preference for if Michigan is there or not? Because I can just pick him back up.
I just don't understand why.
I've never really been able to figure that one out quite well either. Michigan just does things.
Squishy.
And says things.
Alice says, I think he's actually trying to give an answer to the question. You are squishy in there for a good bed. The walrus, I don't know how to respond to that. The fairy, meanwhile, is, can I duel your griffin?
What?
Your griffin is insulting my companion. Them's dueling words.
I'd rather we not get into any kind of a fight when there's worse over there.
But them's dueling
We're
words.
trying to be of assistance as best we can. I would really rather not have any internal.
He really means it as a compliment.
Levels. Yeah, Michigan is trying to be complimentary.
looks at Michigan. Squishy?
He has a limited vocabulary.
Just stands up and just sort of. Those few of you who have actually experienced a waterbed, because I understand those basically almost no longer exist, but for those of us who have, it's a similar thing to Michigan boinging on the water is gently, mind, not like when is bouncing to wake up Hazel, but just squishy.
I I am so sorry.
Alice
Not
just kind of
apparently my father
scoops.
has a waterbed.
It just scoops up Michigan. Squish. Tight snugs. Once I'm
Thank
done.
you.
Once I'm done with the snugs, you're going back in the bag. Pooh. You see, you are a you are adorable. B, you belong to one of my best friends, and that is the only reason why I'm not threatening to throw you to the mechanical Tiamat. Abby it holds holds out to Hazel. Is this sort of a
Now do you see why you make me panic all the time? Shunk.
later snugs, please?
Yes, Scritch.
Hmm. Later snugs, thank you. Did I just scare manners into your miniature griffin?
Yes, yes, you did.
You're welcome. Now, uh, it doesn't seem to be looking at anything that's not stepping out into into that clearing.
So let's just go around then as best we can.
Still does not get me to my dwelling, but it gets us to the camp so we can see what's going on. What I would suggest is get to that general area and have some of the sneakier of us do the rest of it. As in, glances at Remy a little apologetically, nobody who clanks.
Yeah, the sneaky ones who don't clank or rattle or trip over literally everything, like the klutzes that we are.
That was one time,
To be fair,
and that crate of pots had it coming.
okay, that was not the only time.
There were several instances. Remember the crockery?
That was you.
That's what I
That was
mean.
that
I was
wasn't
pointing at
me.
myself.
He's saying that he's only made that level of racket one time, which I know for a fact is, pardon me, Barnabas, bullshit. It's all right, I own it.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. Fine.
Just because you didn't learn from the first time you made that mistake isn't a bad thing. It's just things happen. You are not always graceful 100% of the time. We can all say that. For Hazel, who's fairly good at the insight, Alice A is kind of like, I mean, there's me and there's Clarity, but thinking about it, I
Right
think
then.
Clarity's been a klutz at least once. So yeah,
Right then. Time for loop-de-loops, I guess.
carefully skirting around the edges of the forest.
I can make us more sneaky with
Well, that's the thing. We're not
parts.
we're not trying to sneak right yet. Save your spell slots.
Fair enough.
And when Ava starts reaching for her holy symbol, Alice kind of puts a hand out and save your spell energy. Odds are exceptionally high. We're gonna have to fight that thing.
Yeah.
everybody give? Well, okay. Those. Is anybody proficient with nature? Let's start with that.
Nope.
I'm not.
Or
Proficient
survival.
in survival.
Yeah, survival will additionally do. Who?
Not proficient, but I have a bonus.
Oh yeah, you have a
I'm
bonus
proficient
because
in survival.
one of your objects, so that would probably help to a point. So yeah, nature, survival, or jack of all trades.
Yeah, the only bonus I have is just a result of having a wisdom stat.
Ah, yeah. In which case, no. When I say are you proficient, I just mean are you proficient. I don't mean do you have a number in it.
Yeah, that's why I was clarifying.
Yeah, but I don't need that clarified. If you're not proficient, then just say you're not proficient and leave it there.
Can do.
Yeah, Rylan knows forests better than any of you. Yes, that includes Ava.
Well, would make sense for these forests.
Yeah, but you should technically be second on that list just because Cedar Grove.
Mm.
But Ryland's the one who is like, okay, this would be a good place to for the sneaky one to start sneaking, and we set up when we park ourselves because this is around about where our scout groups would generally start. This is if the campsite is where I think it is. This is the edge of the perimeter they'd be looking at. So from here, it should be the sneaky people.
Okay, I think we're close enough that the sneaky ones could keep going ahead. We set up here. With how far away that camp is, this is about on the outside of the perimeter they'd probably be patrolling.
All right.
I think the best thing for us, if we're at the edge of the perimeter, is trees are enough here, and I think I have chalk somewhere. We don't want to make a camp. Pulls out a bit of chalk. We just want. We just want some real estate. We're gonna shut the door, but you remember that little drum riff on the third song in that stupid play? Your clarity, you do.
Mm.
Tap that on this tree trunk. I'm sure it will be understood.
All right.
Look through the key. It will be understood. Click. Yep. Okay. So I taking it we're leaving this predominantly with clarity.
I've got an 8 in stealth, so I could go with it.
What's clarity's stealth stat?
It is plus 14.
Please keep in mind
That
that
is 13.
these individuals have true sight
Mm.
and probably fairly
Given my
high
track
passive
record,
perception. Sorry,
given my track record,
I mean,
I'll stay behind.
sorry. What was your stat for that? Your plus.
It says 13 next to my stealth.
Ooh.
In which case, no, you'd be better off going.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You don't really know from your track record. You just know that you've been sneaking around the manors and home from.
Yeah, I'm used to sneaking in,
Yeah, but
not woods.
your house wasn't directly in the center of town, and it wasn't just from your home that you had to sneak back in. Because if you spent summers with Ava, You were in
True.
woodsy
This is true.
areas, so you have done this before.
That's true. That tracks.
So yeah, that's the rest of us being in. And the two of you, cross your fingers, pray to RNGesus, and roll me some stealth.
All right.
See?
Nat 20.
See?
Nice.
See, this is why you listen to me.
Hmm.
For once, Darvin is sneakier than you. Not by much, but sneakier than you. Half the time, you're not 100% sure where he is.
Half the time, I'm not sure he knows where he is.
It's Darvin. It's Darvin. 75% of the time, he doesn't know where he is.
True enough.
It's that bit from the first Hollaback Nerds rap battle. How do you hit me when I don't know where I am? So yeah, okay, you do your stealthy thing. Occasionally managing to keep track of each other, but it ain't easy. You guys are not making it easy. Which is good because you've got people with a hell of a lot higher passive perception than you. um, but you get close enough to the campsite without incident. In the camp at the moment, and the first thing you get is high-pitched giggling and not quite yelling. You get close enough to actually see what's going on. You see the giggling lunatic wearing a weird little headband with like 5 decorative dragon heads in the appropriate colors. And Jessamy, who you've seen Cherie look fed up with everything when she was dealing with the blueberry idiots. That's the look on Jessamy's face right now. She is basically the general gist, because I'm not gonna spend the next 10 minutes talking to myself, is that the giggling lunatic wants to move closer to the settlement, the Wood Elf settlement, Ryland's settlement, because it would put it more in line with the tainting that they want to be able to deal with the bomb, and B, because they want to see how it works. I want to see how it does in a fight. I built this thing to be a siege engine, is what you get. I want to see it demolish a town, and then maybe the castle if that doesn't work. And Jessamy is just, it's going to be coming for the fountain. We're not here to hurt anybody else. We're trying to draw that away from it hurting people. We wait. Stop being impatient. You're the... I'm sorry, I didn't see you being particularly squeamish about killing the people. That was to save them. The argument continues on from there, but that's most of what you're getting right now. It's the giggling lunatic who still has no name, no gender. You're close enough to notice that there's some humanoid height. There's some humanish height species with rounded ears. That's about what you've got. At least you think so, because their ears are kind of melted. Probably to do with the burning of the hair, that kind of thing. The cartilage melts. It's a thing. But Jessamy, weirdly enough, is trying to be the voice of reason. The only question is, particularly for Clarity, who's trying to do that investigation insight thing a bit more, um, Jessamy knows that she cannot keep this weirdo in check much longer. And this weirdo is unpredictable as fuck. And is you're not sure they're actually from Egref, but they clearly spent time there. And they just really want to test the kind of thing that the Academy would never let them do. Darwin is mostly just getting. So, okay, the only reason that Ryland Settlement is still standing is because the Giggling Lunatic is still listening to Jessamy for now, and it's weird to be even remotely grateful to the little bitch. But it's probably as far as you want to push your luck right now. And additionally, you probably want to tell the rest of them this.
Just briefly, what are the other people in the camp doing?
You're not seeing any other people in the camp. I would have said
Oh,
if
okay.
there had been, they're probably on perimeter watch somewhere. It's just that
Okay.
you guys.
Who are the people with the rounded ears with
That's the giggling lunatic.
melty? Oh, okay, I
That's
got
the
it.
giggling lunatic. Basically, it's they could be human, they could be elven. You're not seeing anything that's suggestive that they're much else, and you can't tell from the ears because the ears are a scarred and melted mess, same as their scalp. And they're
Okay.
wearing what you can imagine, headpiece wise, is controlling that thing. Everybody else is probably on patrol. Um, Doing the perimeter, or honestly, you're not sure what else they might be doing, but at the very least, you've been stealthy enough to miss them thus far.
Okay. I'm gonna look kind of meaningfully at Darwin and
I'm going to roll the hand of fate to see if I make you guys roll for stealth again. That's a 3. Roll me stealth.
Okay.
Don't make me send you to dice jail.
23.
28.
You guys are generally okay. Darwin probably wants to do a bit of a windy path back to the. Because he realizes he's not quite as stealthy as he was the last time, and there's one part in particular where he just has to stop, wave Clarity on, because he's pretty sure he's being watched. But that feeling vacates and he can head back as probably stepped wrong on a leaf or something. But pretty sure he shook whatever it is anyway. And yeah, when the tree is knocked upon, door opens and Alice is kind of hurting in. When we got in, the place made a walrus pond.
Nice.
I think he's happy about it being that cold in there. I'd recommend nobody else go in there, because sorry, Flitty, but it's okay. I don't mind if the fairy lady borrows my fur stuff. I don't need it right now. I'm assuming the peeping is that's fine, or it would have sounded angrier. So, kitchen.
Yeah. Gather everybody up.
Yeah, wherever everybody happened to have wandered. or herded into the kitchen where Cherie and Alice do the usual of, it's probably about lunch by now, let's make a meal and let's try to make it walrus friendly. Alice is like, luckily I know what to feed a walrus. So, beyond the giggling about me knowing what to feed a walrus, you're also looking a bit, uh, stressed and also confused?
It was weird. Um, I mean, we saw the lunatic scientist person. They they were um they wanted to move the camp and the bomb closer to Ryland's settlement.
Out of character aside, no, they wanted to move Tiamat there. The Mecha
They
Tiamat.
wanted to move the big monstrosity thing out there more towards the settlement to try to see what it could do to a town. Jessme weirdly said she didn't want to kill people unnecessarily, which seemed
And Alice is just,
odd.
excuse the fuck out of me!
No
That's
qualms
what
in
she
that.
said.
I mean, when the giggling lunatic said, pointed out, well, you already have, Jessamy said, to save them, whatever the heck that means.
It means that at least they're not around to be tainted by anything.
Ah, that
Remember,
tracks.
I heard that rhetoric until they had to literally knock me unconscious to make me stop.
Right. But right at the moment, Jessamy is actually being the voice of reason, which is just, ow, that
That
hurts my
feels so
brain.
many levels of wrong.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I still want to slap her.
Oh, for sure.
But she knows. I can tell that she knows that she's not going to keep this crazy person in check much longer because he's very unpredictable and is very eager to test out the sort of things that the Academy would never let them do. So,
Also, still not exactly sure what the heck they even are. Their ears are kind of melted. And
Well,
so
at least we know,
human elf, maybe.
at least we know various of the things they're not. You're looking at human, half elf or elf.
And they're obviously controlling that because they have a headband that has the various dragon heads on it.
yeah,
So
it's a controlling device.
So it's controlling. They're controlling the mechanical Tiamat with their unhinged brain.
It's a terrifying
yes,
thought.
Hands up who finds that incredibly fucking disturbing. Yeah, Barnabas is both hands. Just thank you for putting it that way. I did not have the words. So, okay, the big question is, what do we do about this? We gotta do something.
we didn't see
Is it
anyone else in the camp other than those two, but everybody else, I assume, were patrolling, and we just somehow were so stealthy we missed them all.
Is it wrong that I'm kind of hoping that at least some of them got caught by the Marsh Witch and turned into mustelids of some kind?
It'd be better for them in the long run.
Or some other forest creature. I could. I heard a story once about some particularly strange individuals in Egrev who uh, I mean, some of them used chinchillas as croquet balls, but this was more um, bowling with hedgehogs. To be fair, most of you don't know what bowling is. Remy knows what bowling is. They set up something like that at a carnival at some stage, but it hasn't reached Baronsveer, and the Elven Wild doesn't have the space for a bowling alley. They set up little like mini little logs, sort of pyramidal, and then they take the hedgehog and they roll the hedgehog towards the balls at great speed, just to see how many they can knock over. Weirdly enough, the hedgehogs seem to enjoy it. I don't know if they're specially bred hedgehogs, but I did hear one of them say something about uh, cornering the market on hedgehog crash helmets. Sorry, Clarity, you like being yoinked down corridors. I think everybody likes moving a little fast sometimes. But yeah, that mood lift aside, what do we do?
No, first of all, we'd get that headband, but how are we doing that? I'm not sure.
Shuri is also, you might want to consider, they might have considered what would happen if someone else got that headband.
No.
Best case scenario would be that it stopped working, but I would consider that insane does not mean unintelligent. Were I them, I'd make it go berserk at that point.
Well, that does sound like something they would do.
And I'll say it's not to mention that if Jessamy is that much against what this individual is doing, if it was a good idea to steal that thing, she would have done it herself.
Good point.
Barnabas is Anne. She's sneaky enough to get it done, I tell you that.
So then how do we disable it, deactivate it? Something short of just hitting it until it drops.
You must have an energy source of some kind, but
Oh my god, you people make me an intelligence check. So close. So close. Remy just wants to hit it.
Yep, she wants to send Jessamy back to hell.
Well, no, we're talking about
Hazel
the
has
giant.
no brain.
She's thinking about sending Jessamy back to hell.
Hazel wants to hit it.
Oh.
Clarity.
that's surprising.
Oddly enough,
I should roll for Barnabas.
apparently Darwin's the one wanting to go at this laterally thinking instead of just direct, which is odd, but
Yeah, Hazel just doesn't have the capacity to think
Barnabas
like.
also just wants to hit it.
hey, Rylan, same hat.
Hazel just doesn't see alternatives. Period. It's just like, but the only option is to bonk it.
It's basically Darwin, Rylan, and Alice, who come up with it at about the same time. Flitty said something about vents,
Mm.
Vents to a heat source.
or just into the system in general. There might be. It's too big. Flitty said it was too big for regular sized individuals to get in, and Flitty couldn't get in because, uh, to put it in simple D&D terms, doesn't have enough hit points. So what you need is somebody intelligent who could be made smaller, and you both remember that Shri has enlarge reduce.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it's basically Darwin and Rylan going, somebody smart could get in and figure out how to turn it off from the inside. There must be a failsafe somewhere.
Yeah, there's Rylan. You look like you're thinking similar. I'm thinking,
There's vents to an internal
yeah,
heating system.
or system of some sort. Generates
Something.
heat.
And yeah, Ava would
Some.
consider the implications next, mostly because she was that close.
But
Eh?
we need. Freddy can't do it, so we need to figure out.
Well, yeah, but Cherie, don't you
Shri.
have the
I
ability to?
can make. I've made people larger. I can make people smaller.
Okay, so there's that. So now the question is, who's going in? If it
I'm
has,
still a little lost. Well, you're doing what to the vents? Filling them with goo?
No, we're
No.
sending someone. And Alice is no. We're sending someone in.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That just everybody was
Jeez.
Sorry.
doing that thing.
Honestly, I'm probably the best choice. Clarity, I can take more punishment than you, and I can fly.
Well,
Yeah, it was the
I'm
flying that
resistant.
I
I'm resistant to heat, though.
That's true, but I can still take more punishment than you can. I mean, you are a great choice, definitely. It might not just be heat either.
It's true. I don't know what's in there.
like
Well,
I said, it generates heat, but
probably
it might not be burning.
plus. I'm more thinking also a lot of moving parts.
That too.
It's probably easier for someone who can fly than climb. You might need your hands free.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think our fairy companion is. I mean, they've got the flight, but not necessarily the durability. Although, I mean, you have Shield of Norman, but then we still have the climbing and the.
Is there any way to both go in as a team?
Then we'd probably both have to be looking out for each other when we should just be looking for a. It's probably best for as few people to potentially get smushed as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That was my thought as well.
More people, more risk.
Yeah.
And besides, on the off chance someone's got to go in after you,
And Shri is also, while all this is going on, if we don't want anyone to realize what someone is doing on the inside of that, if someone gets spotted going into vents, we probably want to avoid that. Thus, we probably want to distract it and the people in charge of it. So you are probably going to have to attack it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, since I can't just do, my little double thing, but yeah, because it'll probably see through that.
Well, we're going to have to distract both the monstrous thing and just me.
I mean, that
Well, they were
depends.
wanting to see what he could do. So,
It's
They're going
there's
to
a
be staring
potential
at
is
us.
all I'm saying.
If we distract the dragon, it's going to draw their attention anyways. So
The big question is whether they're going to attack you or it. From the sounds of things, correct me if I'm wrong, the ones who actually saw this happen, Jessamy doesn't seem to like the idea of this thing at all.
No.
So she might say exactly what Darwin said. Why don't we see what it can do? An absolute best case scenario, since she's not going to be caring all that much about protecting me from the soul taint, especially when and if she ever finds out we're all immune. There's no point in protecting us from it anymore. So if she doesn't like this thing, she could come in on our side.
Hmm.
if I hadn't heard her actually being the voice of reason, I'd think you were nuts. But this has been a really weird day.
I'm just going off what you guys said. I could be completely wrong, and they could be like, get off our dragon. But
I mean, yeah, we told you what they said exactly word for word. So, yeah, and my insight is actually pretty high for all that I don't use it often. But in this
actually,
case,
yeah, the but Clarity and Darwin make me insight checks
okay.
just to see exactly how sure you are. Yeah, Darwin is exactly right. Clarity's still working on it, but it's kind of hard to. Jessamy mostly just looks pissed off, but Jessamy has looked pissed off pretty much every single time Clarity's seen her. And a face that scarred and mangled is kind of hard to read. Darwin has had immense amounts of practice reading the pissed off because if nothing
Usually
else,
because I pissed them off.
yeah, it's like okay, this song, how much is it pissing off that particular individual in the audience? Am I going to have to climb out the back window of this pub? And
The answer's been yes a few times.
the answer's been yes more than a few times, but that's not because you were bad, it's just because the song selected was insulting to them. They did deserve being insulted, but the principle remains the same. And yeah, no, for Darwin, that's exactly it. It's like Jessamy wanted this guy, this individual, whatever, to make the bomb. Jessamy was kind of hoping to not have to deal with this anymore. But for some reason, Jessamy still has this tagging along after her, and she hates it.
I mean, I've read faces like hers before, and she is not happy by any stretch of the imagination, and she hates the fact that she's still having to deal with this. Like this whole giggling thing, whatever it is. Okay, thing was probably disrespectful, but still, built the bomb, and now Jessamy's still having to deal with gestures vaguely in the general direction of outside at the Tiamat thing, and does not want to have to deal with it. So, us, I think we'll be a bit surprised. I think
And Sheree is sitting
if
there. Sheree is sitting there thinking about it, and Barnabas says what she's actually thinking. Looks at Sheree. She's like you, but evil. She wants everything to be working properly,
yeah,
and you really hate it when you get someone. I'm really sorry you've got stuck with most of us. You're far better than the blueberry idiots. Put it that way. But yes, she has my dislike of the incompetent and easily distracted in the face of a significant goal. If nothing else, at
Yeah,
least when
and
you all have a goal, you stick with it.
true. This is unnecessarily chaotic, I think, is another term for what Jessamy's dealing with.
This is uh I this is a is this what politics is like?
I
With
mean,
with about 10% less violence, yes.
yeah,
The court case alone made my head hurt. This is making it worse.
Alice doing the tray thing, just being like, well, we're all going to eat something, and while we eat, we think about exactly how we go about this. Clack, clank, clank, clank. And yeah, what you have is, I mean, this is monumental levels of meat. Although for Rylan gets a particularly nice smelling bean stew, because this is
Hmm.
probably way more meat than Rylan would ever want to deal with. Because this is beef short ribs, which are badly misnamed. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I haven't had beef ribs in so long.
I actually made some a few months ago. I should do that again. Probably marinate them more. But yes, this is very much for the meat eaters. Although while there are sides, also some of the rest of the bean stew comes out if anyone finds themselves defeated by something you should be seeing on a Flintstones takeout tray.
Booga booga.
Well, yeah, if you've ever seen any of the Flintstones, it's like the big mammoth ribs and Cloak in the car goes. Neep.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yep.
I've 100% seen that. I saw it on basic cable TV, just part of the normal broadcasting, and then later on saw it on Boomerang, which threw me for a loop.
I will not think too hard about that. We are at approximately break time and have a think, and when we come back in a few minutes, we'll try to deal with a game plan so that I don't have to try to run combat with me running three people and the creature. I prefer that, thanks! And we're back, staring down the barrel of facing a mechanical construct of Tiamat, but more imminently facing down some fairly large, very well barbecued beef short ribs. And Barnabas is doing the full on Homer drooling because that's what he do. Shree is looking at Barnabas and going, "I apologize for the distraction of him. I may have mentioned to Alice that this place needed a smoker." To be fair, Ryland has no idea what one of those is. Clarity doesn't have any idea what one of those is. And the only reason the rest of you know is because you've been a bit more in tune with the people making the food. Uh, Jenna actually runs a smoker out and at the back of her smithy, which is why she basically has your entire family over for the first smoked pork of the season, and it's always yum.
Why was this place missing a smoker in the first place? Those are required, those are mandatory. Not having a smoker is not okay.
Because I spent most of my time either roaming around the frozen wastes or in a place where it is so hot that a smoker would just be painful.
Fair point. I'm messing with you.
Good, but I'm playing I'm for once in my life I'm playing straight. There you go.
And cleric down.
Alice says your food's gonna get cold, cause yeah, this is actually even a little bit better than Jenna smoked pork, mostly cause it's beef and it's Alice spicing, and Alice and Cherie mixed barbecue sauce, so that's why Barnabas is free dripping saliva and just nearly in tears kind of thing.
Eventually, I'm going to write myself, take a proper sniff, and now there's 2 people in that free dripping saliva scenario.
Please stop dripping saliva on it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't need that kind of seasoning anyway. Just eat it.
Farm Girl Buzzsaw begins.
For those of you who don't know, a smoker is basically, it's a way of cooking, but it's, and I'll show you. She opens up what was a cabinet. Well, it looks like a cabinet door anyway. You open it and you've got your smoker layout with your logs and your trays, and there is a smell of various smoked meats. Well, in the midst of smoking meats. Apparently, some of these are really good for sandwich fixings, so. I mean, Rylan, you can try if you want. I know you don't like meat much, but if you were curious, there's more than plenty.
Just meticulously cutting a single bite.
Yeah, and you do meticulously have to cut a single bite because those things are chunk. And yeah, as far as beef goes, this is pretty superlative stuff. But you haven't had that much of it, so.
I mean, I can see the appeal.
Huh?
Smoky is a quality people like in things.
Yeah, it's. I'll have to see what kind of vegetarian stuff one can do in the. God, it occurs to me that it's only the ones from Equitas who actually know vegetarian as an actual term, because all the rest of you had was herbivore. And we've all gone quiet in the in the enjoyment of the food. I will take that as compliment. Barnabas is
Quiet,
yes.
forgiven, value of quiet. Buzzsaw.
Oh yeah, at least you're technically using utensils, mostly.
How did you manage to get it? I have about a dozen questions, and I need to know everything about it. But first, I'm going to eat the rest of this.
There's seconds if you need them.
Yes.
You know, we're actually gonna need to wait for Hazel to digest before we go into combat.
Yeah.
Probably good for the rest of us anyway. Nobody really wants to be jumping around, dodging fire breath on that full of stomach. I mean, if I'd known we were going to be running into Mecha Tiamat, I wouldn't have prepared this kind of lunch. Sorry. But you know, you kind of got to start this a while in advance, even with what I'm assuming is some magical type of smoker, because it should take longer than this, I think. Shree is to this level of smoked, yes. But if you have a magical estate, then it will tweak things according to your whims. But we should perhaps consider game plans for both sections of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a thought
Hmm?
for just I understood, okay, it's got some sort of thing on the outside protecting it from magic and the like. I was wondering
It has to be
if that.
directed at it, from what Clarity was saying. So if it's something it needs to, if it's something it needs to not notice, like an illusion, it can look at something and has an easier time telling that it is an illusion than, say, you would. And
So
if
if it,
we throw spells at it, it won't take as much damage from them, or it'll be easier for them to avoid. But if the magic
what,
isn't about them, isn't on or around them, so reducing someone's size isn't going to be a problem.
what about a
Right,
spell
right.
that on the ground around it?
Will it be affecting it in any way?
I mean, the idea is to snare it, so I guess so.
In which case, if it's a magical
Yeah.
snare, sounds like it will have an easier time in breaking away. And if it's a physical snare, it's probably several tons of metal.
Hmm.
Yeah, your spell, how big of a thing can it catch?
Must admit, I don't
It's
know.
gargantuan. Don't forget.
Yeah, so it's probably too big anyway. Just check. Page 1 loaded. It's no strong.
Which means I gather that something like heat and metal on some
Uh,
vital component
large
too
or
much.
larger creature has advantage on this saving throw. So technically I could, it's just gonna have an easier time getting out of it.
Yeah, and given
Probably an
its
easier
various
easier
other
on top.
advantages, it's, yeah.
That stacks.
I mean, it depends, and as for heating metal on some component, it would probably be on the inside. It would probably be resistant to that because, well, it's resistant to any magic that affects it. And all of the
Right.
vital components are inside where it's already rather hot.
Dragon replica, after all.
Well, also construct. It doesn't sound like that one. Given Flitty said something about there, it was hot around those vents, which is why he couldn't go in. Yeah, it was real toasty. There's at least some of it is being run by heat.
It's a
The other
massive
thought,
boiler in there. That would be ridiculous.
It's
It
either
would make sense, but it would be
Right.
it's
ridiculous.
either that or part magic, part combustion engine. Oh god, none of you know what a combustion engine is. Out of character,
The
I've
heck
just
is
realized.
that?
There are there are some things that burn. You know when people make bombs out of lamp oil?
Right?
If there's other kinds of very flammable oil, and if you process them right, they'll burn in such a way that will power a machine with no steam required.
What? So there's like, that, sorry, you'd still have to like push stuff around, right? So that would just mean it's like exploding,
Yes,
little explosions.
yes,
I mean that makes sense. I'm just gesturing over at Ava. Gun.
yes. It just instead of black powder, it's a liquid, so it flows more
And instead of
continuously.
throwing a little piece of metal at ludicrously fast speeds, it's just pushing whatever thing would be like the same stuff steam would push, right?
Yes, and because it's a liquid and moves smoother and gets injected into the space where the explosion is happening, it's just continuous. At least as
That
far as I've
weirdly makes like a lot of sense, but also is kind of terrifying.
Yes, there's not much of that. What the liquid involved is. I think they've found a few deposits in Cabreaval, but it doesn't smell particularly good when it burns, so most of us just use magic.
Yeah, I mean, you've got this city of all that is Magitech.
Yes, and the reason that it's mostly magic and not this liquid, whatever it is, we won't have it because it taints the air that our plants and animals breathe. So we won't let it be anywhere in Zlato or at all.
Makes sense.
Makes sense to me. Breadbasket's gonna say the breadbasket.
It's just that some of the folks in Egref are grumbling us about not being open to the possibilities, and we just don't want the possibilities to involve various of our buildings covered in soot. Thank you.
I mean, you'd think that when they have that much arcane power at their disposal, they could just like stick to that because it sounds like this alternative isn't half as efficient.
Well, not particularly. I think they use it mostly in the spots where they mine it. Is the only way I can really phrase it. I think they
It's
just
like you could probably do one of those combustion engine things, just use an arcane fuel instead.
yes, but they have this stuff now, and they want something to do with it, something to justify the research money.
Eh, there's probably a different use for it that doesn't involve setting it on fire and explodifying it. But yeah, it sounds like Agraf being Agraf.
I'm sure someone will find something eventually, but as we know from the giggling lunatic, some people just grab hold of an idea and do not let it go.
Yeah.
Some people just want to see what it'll do.
The power of surprise me is really strong, but there's like a point where it goes way too far.
Hazel has probably buzzsawed her way through and was about to look disappointedly at empty plate and has found that somewhere along her rant seconds have appeared.
Excuse me.
And Alice is now that we've bought another few minutes of quiet. It's okay. We okay. To be fair, Shuri has a dessert. Yes, I was actually amazed that the tools were available for it. But then again, I was telling Alice what I needed, thus. I mean, you all obviously know about ice cream. It is to be served in a rather different format this time around. So I suppose the question is, I've only got the two options, I'm afraid. Chocolate or miscellaneous?
Miscellaneous.
What she said.
Miscellaneous.
What's
Oh, yes.
miscellaneous entail? Or is that the point?
Well, it would take a rather long time to explain, thus miscellaneous.
Fair enough. Go on then. Miscellaneous.
Honestly, I most
Chocolate.
and Shri is. I was just about to say I mostly have the chocolate option there for Remy, who
Thank you.
I've learned by now. But yeah, I don't think ensnaring it is going to work. And even if it did, whole point is we don't want it focused on what's happening inside it. And the things that make it move are part of
True.
what's inside it. I mean, admittedly, if we could make it stop moving entirely, there'd be less whatever mechanical moving things that are in there stop moving. But at the same time, uh, it lets them too much into what we're trying to do.
Mm.
Because it's entirely possible that they'll, if the Aranese do want us to meet our end, they might wait until it's worn us out. before they come after us. And if we're just freezing that thing in place and letting me go too, they might just take initiative and do it themselves. And then, of course, you're not there to back me up if a problem happens in there.
Which reminds me, we definitely want to keep Cherie out of harm's way.
I got one additional just thing I probably need to mention. It's a dragon-alike, so do you think it's going to have that same fear factor?
Flitty
Being near a dragon is just terrifying on a basic level.
Flitty was like, I only found it scary because it's that much bigger than me.
I don't know. Could you replicate that in the machine, though?
Something freaky enough, probably.
There is a spell, darling.
True.
In fact, there are multiple spells that have that effect. But it depends on the magic, the amount of magic it's using. I think something like that there's a limit. There is an upper limit to how much you can make something do.
Mm.
And Nafliti, you were saying that each of its heads had that same elemental effect on their bite as their breath would have. Yeah. And I imagine each of those heads breathe that fire as well. Or element, rather. Yeah. And there's the magical field. And there's the power needed to make it fly. Not to mention the rest of the mobility.
So we might be lucky in that it doesn't have that inherent ooga booga.
So plenty for us to worry about, even then.
Yeah, but being so scared of a thing that we can't even take a proper swing at it is honestly the worst part.
Well, I could get near it, so that's probably okay.
That at least means we're gonna be able to bonk it good.
Because I am the bravest fairy dragon.
That you
Definitely.
are.
When lunch is completed, you wind up you all know Rubik's cubes. This is like that, except kind of larger and made of cubes of ice cream separated in its layers by what appears to be chocolate. Apparently, this is what they do in Korea. Baskin Robbins has cube of ice cream cake in a variety of flavors.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw that video.
Yeah.
Today.
Anybody who's been watching that channel has seen that thing.
Yeah.
You showed it to me, yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I had to make sure you saw it.
Remy's is various different types of chocolate ice cream cake, and the rest of you have. This is what the Adventurer's Abomination should have been. Because the flavors are separated out, and it looks really interesting. And Darvin is looking at this and tasting his way through it and going, "This is it. This is what I was trying to make."
The amount of surprise be going on in the Clarity Hazel corner is probably hilarious.
Clarity is eating very meticulously each square, each cube, for moving on to the next one.
I'm just periodically trying to sneak one of my cubes over there just to see what happens. Just adding more back
you're doing what Matthew does to Paul in that blind gay couple with the guide dog. he's constantly doing jokes like that. Like he's putting something away, he'll move it back and stuff like that.
That would irritate the shit out of me, but anyway.
Yeah, me too.
So basically, Clarity is getting 1.5 desserts and Hazel's getting half a dessert.
Yeah, I hoovered so much. I hoovered so much meat. I probably overstuffed.
I'm so full. I've only got one dessert.
To be fair, Hazel was helped fairly assiduously by Michigan, who is currently doing that on his back. You can see a little tummy being full of food.
Food coma.
Of a spear.
Yeah, but just lying on his back on the floor. Delicious. Yeah, I think we're also
Absolute.
gonna need to wait until your griffin is digested.
We do need our omens on tap, yes.
So okay, yeah, we unfortunately cannot immobilize it.
So long as it's chasing us in I guess, a consistent circle, that should at least work.
To be fair,
Just need
it's
to occupy it and give the impression that we're fighting it head on.
well, it doesn't have to necessarily be head on. If you just surrounded it, I'm assuming that its breath takes time to recharge, same as regular dragons.
That is a lot of arcane power to bleh, that much of it, so probably.
So yeah, you probably don't want to be all clumped.
In front of it.
Yeah, spread out as much as possible.
So it does have 5 heads, so, watch out.
Yes, but
Yep,
it could still only be aiming at like one or two of you if you're completely surrounding it.
Mm-hmm.
doubly so if it's replicating the actual normal breath patterns. So we still have that book, and I do still keep reading it.
The problem is that when it comes to exactly what those what the breath weapons will do, we
You
can't
can't assume it works.
assume it's the same.
Yeah. You can't assume it
Yeah.
works
Yeah,
like
and I
a regular dragon.
Yeah, not assuming,
yeah,
but if they are replicating it, we do know what those patterns look like. So
Yep.
that's one more reason to not clump up.
Mhm.
yeah, and I
Because
don't know if
it can vary from big as remember the
Dracolich,
Dracolich? The thing with the line of
No.
lightning and nope.
boing, I believe was the noise. Yeah, apparently
Let's
LSA can
see.
actually act or feat sound effects too.
That is a terrifyingly accurate replication of that noise. Then there's I think the red ones have just the cone of fuck everything in this area.
Ice is a
I mean that's
cone.
all of them to one degree or another.
Yeah, ice is a cone. Mostly,
So yeah, just another cone of fuck off.
yeah. Although I always figured that with first dragon breath, as far as that went, it was the fuck off was immediately preceded by would you kindly, or just kindly when he's in a hurry.
And it being
Trying
a
to remember,
construct, I don't
green ones
Poison.
are all, I think.
listen.
Yeah, no, I know what element they are. It's the pattern that they usually exhibit. I think it's a cone too.
I think so. Because poison's generally speaking a gas when it comes from a
It's just a
dragon,
big blob of vent.
and it's not gonna stay in a line pattern. Poison is a line.
Yeah, poison is the so yeah, poison is the cone gas
Oh
belch,
yeah,
and
and
the acid is the
acid is the line because it's a liquid.
that's the one that's the line vomit. I was wondering which one it was. Besides, lightning of nope.
Well, we've all met the lightning of Nope. Um,
And we've seen acid, despite, background around what's his face being most of the way to good and googly and tainted.
Yeah, that was something else. I think
It's
the
a
th-
weird,
I think
weird
the thing
fight.
I'm most afraid of is how fast it can do all of that. Out of
And how
character,
fast it can rotate.
out of character translation in D&D terms. How many of its heads can attack per round?
Oh yeah, multi attacks. Ugh.
Yeah, and it being a construct, I don't. It's probably still not a spell per se. So one of the things I can do probably won't matter. Bugger.
But what is
Well,
it?
yeah.
Words.
I can create a globe of invulnerability, but it only works against like actual spells, I believe,
Huh?
not effects.
I'm sure he is going. No, that's it's most Magitech or not. It still technically qualifies as a ranged attack. It is a projectile of because it's coming from a construct that was built to do it.
So, Darvin, are you talking about that sphere? The spell of get in the ball?
No, different thing. It's I think more of an anti-magic-ish kind of a situation, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Basically, spells cast in that direction. If you're in it, if you're in the circle, in the sphere, you're fine. Basically, but it only works on actual cast spells and like not effects or projectiles or
And
things of that
and
nature.
this is not a place to test that, unfortunately.
oh yeah.
Exactly.
Not
The
really.
only
Just
thing I
trying to
know that
think
could like
tactically
Oh no,
and
and it's
trying to come up
it's
with.
entirely appreciated, and there should be a way you can test that. I believe, and Alice says, there was a place in Egref that tested the effects on your sword, what it
Yes.
protected you from. I'm sure either they can test what qualifies for that invulnerability spell, or if they can't, they can recommend someone who can.
Hmm.
Fine.
That's brilliant.
Because we need to go
Yeah,
to the grove
yeah,
anyway at some point.
fair. Yeah,
That's my question now. My source of worry. This thing is shaped like a dragon, but it isn't a dragon. The effects of Scale Splitter, are they going to
Yeah,
work?
Not
that's a
likely.
very good point.
Yeah, my unfortunate thought is no.
Probably not. No.
Mm.
I mean, skills that pertain to dragons I have are not going to work as well as they usually would. Probably either.
Well, they probably won't work at all because again, it's not a dragon.
No.
I think the
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the deciding factor of whether it qualifies as a dragon is whether it has a mind of its own. But then again, I
Hmm.
don't think Dracoliches count either.
they might just based on the book, but that's again that's all people what people have seen. No one, I don't think anyone's asked a dragon directly what that would happen. And
Mm-hmm.
there's also those weirder types of dragons that are in other categories besides just the two we've been dealing with.
Alice is actually looking fairly pensive and kind of that's an idea. So we
Eh?
haven't spoken to a dragon about any of this.
Not directly.
Do we not know a particularly well read and very information gathering dragon of a type that would actually talk to us, whose powers are analogous to those of a, say, white dragon? I might be able to help you fill out that book of yours.
Actually get information and it would nullify a lot of surprise me, but that's what the book is for. Bring it
Yeah,
to her and get all the corrections made.
yeah, yes, yeah, sweetie. I mean, first of all, I can actually take it into the bestiary room of the Silver Vault as well,
Yep.
because I can look up all of that, and then we can say, Governor Bendis. Well, no, because it's Governor Bendis. We'll have to approach her at some point too, because I bet she'd be really flattered if we asked her, and she likes a conversation. But probably either we do that on our way or we do it afterwards, just to fill in any gaps if we really want to stroke her ego. But probably not too much because she doesn't like that. Either way, but we just approached Governor Achiel. We have many stories to tell you and some questions to ask, and if you would like to hear these stories and engage in this conversation, we are at your disposal. Because silver dragons in general, and her in particular, like their information. It's like somewhat more. It's like Rylan for seriousness and clarity for tell me everything. So if if we have lots of places to stop before the eventual end game of taking on Tiamat, which we're probably going to have to do at some point. Let's face it, that feels inevitable at this point. But
Uh-huh.
first, we have to make sure that we don't level the continent.
Hmm.
We also, I think, also probably worth talking to is Calatiel, because they just really like, I guess, putting information out into the world as much as anything. So Calatiel would probably want to make corrections to any of the wibbly in the book too.
And Sheree is actually. Uh, Governor Atiel would simply laugh at the misconceptions and inaccuracies and think that people finding out as they went would be, as they put it, funny.
Oh yeah.
What you would want to do is say that it is helping you solve a riddle,
Right.
like a scavenger hunt for dragon facts.
Oh boy. That would lead to
Well, that's effectively what you're
the
doing.
well, no, I mean I'm just saying that would if I remember how much shenanigans Calatiel gets up to just on a few of the ideas of information hunts, that would also be
Oh, yes, you would obviously have to do a scavenger hunt through Egref to get the information you wanted. But it would likely turn out to your benefit regardless.
oh yeah.
But you would have
Not I'm not complaining. I'm just amused that that's gonna lead to its own shenaniganry.
it would probably involve you finding some particularly ridiculous things.
So I remember the what was that thing, the foodomatic, I don't the one that produced the sludge instead of the actual pie.
Um, that was. Are they still trying the miraculous transmutation engine?
Last I checked, yes. That there was an attempt to make a pie. It came out as a blob.
Yeah. As I recall, what actually happened was that the pie crust came out kind of upside down, and then the pie filling went splooge.
Yeah, the so the crust came out,
Ups.
flipped,
Yeah.
and the whole rest of it just kind of
It
So
It
it made
was
the stuff just
scary, at least.
really weird and out of order, and also kind of squishy. Because the crust wasn't exactly solid.
It forgot to bake the crust. It decided to make raw crust. Well,
Transmutation is a school of
I
magic
mean,
that
aside
very
from that,
much
it got kind of
confuses
right.
me.
given that he had access to, well, given that they had access to this place, which is basically made of transmutation, if not straight up, like, conjuration, they didn't take advantage of finding out how it works. Maybe it's just too complicated to do that.
There's also that whole thing about one wizard's nonsense not always being compatible with another wizard's nonsense.
Fair enough.
Transmutations, that's always going to be weird to me because it's turning things into other things.
Well, apparently, according to some Egrephian natural philosophers, everything is made up of very, very, very tiny things. And so turning things into other things is just a matter of rearranging the tiny things.
Still dependent. Yeah. Okay. I get it, but it also hurts. Because I remember what happened to Darwin.
Funny.
Yeah.
Mm,
The bunny thing. The constantly turning
I
into
mean,
another thing.
Well, that's actually
I was just
that's actually rather easier because most of the little thing components are the same. They just need to be shifted slightly. Whereas changing wood into,
that,
say, blueberry pie would require a lot of moving around of little tiny things. You weren't particularly good mathematics, were you, Hazel?
No, and I'm still not.
To be fair, the
I'm bad
kind
at math, and I'm kind of a klutz.
it. I mean, I suppose even if you were, the kinds of mathematics that deal with advanced transmutation tend to transcend numbers.
Hell do you mean transcend numbers?
You basically have a symbol that stands for an abstract concept.
You just Hazel has blue screened.
I'm going to stop right there. And
Just an expression on my face.
looks at Clarity. Another time,
It is just
sorry.
error.
No, we've spoken quite a bit about how everyone else is going to cope. What we haven't discussed is what can be done to safeguard this one. Points at Alice. Oh boy. Well, yes, you can take a hit. We want you to be able to take as many hits as possible.
yeah, I was thinking about that, but I know for myself, I don't have anything useful.
You don't wear armor specifically, do you?
Not. Oh,
Yeah, Shuri kind of looks like it. You can see the "I am not talking to you. You are not going inside." Uh, that.
I have a spell that could help.
Well, I was considering flinging mage armor at her.
Can you?
She doesn't wear armor.
Oh, what I mean is, does that thing? Do those spells work on other people? Because I know Death Ward can. It's applying to other people, but
I have Sanctuary otherwise, but
usually
that's
those
so
spells are
different.
the ones, yeah, from clerics like
No,
us.
willing creature who isn't wearing armor.
Hmm.
but can you do that and still keep
Yes, mage armor
her
isn't a
small?
concentration spell.
My bad.
Lasts for too
Yeah,
long
it's,
for
it,
that kind of thing.
It's like Death Ward. Just, does a different thing when applied.
Well, and I mean, if we're not relying so much on magic while we're trying to distract the thing, in a pinch, I could also activate and he holds up his hand with the aura of life tattoo on it. In an
Does she have
extreme
to be
case.
near you for that?
Yeah, she wouldn't be close enough for that.
Hmm, okay.
Gargantuan.
Right.
I mean, my spell
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
works 30 feet away, so that's
I
probably
forget.
not going to work either.
No, no. I forgot just how big that thing is. My brain's still refusing to wrap its head fully around just the size of the damn thing.
I can't.
Welcome to why dragons are inherently scary. So yeah, it sounds like we're stacking mage armor.
I have, it's different types of creatures, not damage, so that wouldn't work.
At least Death Ward out of the stuff I've got.
I think if I get to the point of needing Death Ward, I'm gonna get out by then. Remember,
True.
enlarge reduce only lasts for a minute, less if Cherie gets distracted. Don't worry too much about that. Save your spell energy.
Well, I've got it. I could just stack it.
If you guys are dancing around a giant, well, gargantuan dragon construct thing, you're gonna need all the spell energy you can get.
True.
And honestly, Shuri,
Cherie,
you're gonna need to save some back as well, because if I can't find it, at least I'll know whether Clarity would be able to survive in there, because if I can't find it, she might.
Cherie, you should stay as far away from the
Oh, I still need to be within
busyness.
I still need to be within a certain range, but believe me, I'm definitely going to be staying out of harm's way as much as possible. If nothing else, I can hide behind Barnabas. Sorta. I'm probably gonna be one of the ones directly in its face.
Just thinking about reduce dropping while she's in there is
Yes, believe
kind of
me,
scary.
I've considered that, and I'm trying to find that balance between far enough away so that I'm not in any danger, and close enough for it not to dispel anyway due to my being too far away. Because
I could put Centra on you.
I don't know if there's something in there. I don't know how deep it's in. And given its size, I'll be able to do the mathematics on the fly, but mostly I'm going to have to trust you all to keep its attention and seriously hit it with everything you can so that I won't look like the thing they need to take down first.
Definitely do that. That we're very good at doing.
I mean, there's so many of you that's at least one person per head.
I was going to say, could someone make you invisible, but they have true sight, so that wouldn't work.
Well, the Aranese, etc. do. The construct, the magic doesn't work as well on, so.
That's why I'm not trying to run around it with, my little decoy. Because that would work.
No, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm afraid that your means of attracting its attention is probably going to be to hit it rather a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I'm glad I haven't used the boots in a bit. I'm going to need to hit the go fast button.
You're also going to have to use the giant fucking axe. Probably.
I can distract it by shooting it in the faces.
I mean, you have the world's biggest can opener.
Yep.
Now keep in mind it's metallic, so you're not going to be able to poison it. The construct, so I'm not sure what necrotic does to it. I imagine fire and lightning are going to be a little iffy. And it doesn't have a mind, so psychic damage is off the table. So once I've ensured that people are properly reduced and all that sorted out, I'm probably going to hide behind a tree. Because most of what I have is psychic damage, and that's not going to do a lick of good. Neither probably is Hold Monster.
I mean, how big does something have to be before it clears the size problem?
It's not so much
It's not a monster.
No, it's a monster.
No, it's a monster.
It's more that
Oh, I thought.
that magical field. You recall?
Oh, okay.
The
The
resist,
I thought it
yeah,
was the.
between the resistance and then also
Well,
how
yeah.
big it is could be screwing with it. Yeah,
Okay.
Alisaia.
I thought
Darwin,
it. I
everything
thought.
qualifies as a monster in some respects. That the way the spell is named is just kind of relating to how strong it is.
Alisaia is like, those of you who are more book learned than me, maybe listen to Molly a bit more. I don't know. Something like that field would take up a lot. It would take a lot of energy, right? That energy would have to be diverted from somewhere if you were making it, work to the best of its abilities. So, is there a way you could make it more worthwhile for it to channel, excuse me, the power that it's using for that shield into, say, its attacks?
I mean, by making ourselves harder to kill is one way.
Well, the fact that you're there to kill it all might do it.
Well, if we don't use magic towards it quite so much, then the necessity for keeping up that field and more towards an offensive sort of thing would be necessary for it to, channel its energies in a certain direction.
And Barnabas is, yeah, that'll leave me front and center. I think
Basically, everyone with a heavy enough bonk
I
stick.
could look pretty threatening.
That you can.
I figure it just means that it'd be easier if you get it to turn down that. And yeah, as Clarity said, if you're not using magic so much, and most of you have the means to not use magic so much. I mean,
In
you've all
some
got
ways,
basic
bonking it.
weapons.
Yep, and even those of us who do
I don't know
like to
how
use
much my
magic
rapier is
have
going to do, but I'll do my best.
Rapier's actually probably a pretty good one because I remember looking at some of Molly's stuff, and when you have metal things that move, it's because they've got lots of little plates.
and there's joints. You aim at the place where the gaps happen. You know how on plate armor, like what Remy's always wearing? Yeah, there's bits that go straight to the gambeson. There's sections that are just chain, and pointy things go straight through those.
Because you have to be able to move, and you can't move a
If it's
solid
all
metal plate.
Huh. All right. Well, then maybe I'll be able to do a little something after all. All right. I was a little worried about that.
Just aim at the
Okay.
holes. There's always going to be holes. There's not just going to be vents. There's going to be holes everywhere.
Aim at the holes.
Less holes, more gaps. Vents and gaps are
Either way,
different
I get it. I get it. I get it.
We're going to be pedantic at you. It's kind of what we do. Mostly it's because one thing a bard very much needs is a very broad vocabulary. Because sometimes you just need le mot juste, I think, is how some of the people in the Agway settlement put it. It means the just word, the right word, the perfect word.
The verbal mallet.
Sort of. But see, that's what I mean when sometimes the words you have don't quite do it. You have to grab another one from somewhere else, even if it's a different language. The folks in the Agway settlements and the roaming dune folk, between them, they've got like 5 dialects.
I guess some of us get a little bit of a bonus for finding the right word, because then there's instances of, and I just say something I pick a random, really aggressive swear in halfling and just go through like four of
Yeah, I
them.
mean that's one of the few things I do know about Halfling is that they do tend to chain words in the most impressive way.
Oh, good God, it's German.
It's kind of German. It's
I don't think
it's German.
Hazel. I don't think toes can do that.
Yes, they can. You just haven't tried hard enough.
I'm going to feed everybody a hot beverage and excuse me. Then we will armor up and head out there. And any last bits and pieces? All right, I'm gonna.
DM,
Oops, sorry.
did I see the bomb or any sort of hint of what direction that they were, or if there was any bomb-like thing?
No, but you did not look into the tents.
Okay.
Who knows? You might have opportunity to do a bit of sneaky sneak and searchy search as the next time rolls around. Is anything else anybody wants to
Question.
do? Oh, go ahead.
I had a question for y'all. So I can, within about I got 500 feet. I can do it 3 times. So if somebody gets in the way, I can potentially get you out of harm's way quickly. So just a thing, a dimension door. I did that. I did that to you, Ava. Just as a thing.
And she is yes, but at the same time, I wouldn't do that to me because
Oh no.
when you're doing it to others, consider that you don't know which of its heads is going to attack next.
The cones are shorter than the lines, so if you guess wrong and it does follow those patterns, and one of them is the line, and it just tracks it, then it gets a 2-for-1.
Well, here's another thought that I also had, and I don't know. Just again, I'm grasping at whatever possible things I can think of. That could also get me closer to it. Hell, that could potentially get me on the damn thing. I'm just that's a thought too. Probably not a good idea.
All I
But
say is like, what would you do when you were up there?
I don't know. I didn't think that far. I didn't expect that to work.
We're now
But like
assuming
you said,
we're now assuming
there are holes and
not so
stuff.
much on the
Stab
back.
it somewhere.
The back doesn't move as much.
Ah, bugger.
Yeah, that's most of
Right.
its plating.
I
Yes,
mean,
maybe, but
it's not as easy, I don't think, from what I saw, as when I broke the spot between the wings on that red. If I was dealing with skin and muscle and bone, you'd be dealing with metal.
Yeah, true.
Also,
For those who do have to use spells entirely, like Rylan, I'm guessing you're probably going to be sticking to anything that just hits with pure force. Just that's probably best way to dent it.
I mean, technically,
Just
also, I've heard the stories. Rylan has a crossbow.
Mm-hmm. That was more of what I was
if all
planning
else fails,
because of all
that
the
too.
magical resistance
Well,
bollocks.
if they start with the crossbow, this thing starts thinking the weedy one is using a crossbow. They can't have any magic.
Oh, I like this plan.
Yeah, we want it to
That was
think.
that was
We're
that
not
was
using
what
magic.
Clarity was
That
saying the
was the
whole time.
plan.
No. I like that you sticking with it, particularly in the Ryland scenario. As I get it for the
Oh,
rest of us, I just didn't quite understand it there. Now I get it.
Well, we wanna. Rylan is the heaviest magical hitter of us. I mean, okay, fine. Things like blight are not going to be a great idea here because I don't think that's going to work. But there's other stuff.
I mean, magic missile by itself, when upscaled by any of you with those high tier magical nonsense things,
Sure, he gives a.
I have seen what you've done with that. That is that's just a storm of nope.
Honestly, I just kind of want to hit the giggling lunatic with Phantasmal Killer. I would love to do that so very much.
What does that do exactly from like the perspective of someone getting whammied?
It frightens them to death.
Finally get him to stop laughing for 2 seconds. But before
He might start screaming.
And honestly, some people are driven mad with fright and laugh anyway. So possibly.
Going back to what we were saying about trying to keep Alice from taking too much damage inside. Would it be worth me using a shield of faith on her?
Again, we don't.
We'll have a look at it.
What's the range on that?
60 feet. So that's probably still a bit far. But
Well, you're not gonna know
that's
where
the
I
initial
am.
cast, though.
Yeah, it's initial cast, and that might be okay. But at the same time, once that thing does drop its guard, you might want to save it from one of these guys.
True.
And the shield is also concentration. It's
Lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it's still concentration.
I know.
and then the key point of those is
Not get hit. I mean,
You don't
I'm
wanna
in the
get
back
bombed.
anyway most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've got Shield of Faith, Shield of Faith, Shield of Norman. But remember, this thing probably hits like a dire moose. Hey, would it over-egg the pudding if I got Legolas in on this?
You know?
Tell me more.
The wall doesn't.
Well,
I'm intrigued by your
He'd
ideas.
be a great distraction up
Subscribe
to
to your
the.
newsletter.
That is true. He would make a good distraction if he was flying around the head, for
and
example.
you have not seen dire moose during mating season. And
No.
I'm talking
Reptile.
about dominance fights, guys.
Oh.
Yeah, the if it's anything like
The
normal
deer in
deer,
Cedarwood were
they are
bad
just
enough.
I mean, I'll be frank with you guys. Legolas, thankfully not here to hear me, is technically run to the litter.
He's
You guys are, and then you think back, and yeah, actually thinking about it, it's just that everyone else riding the dire moose were so large that you didn't quite notice.
Well, Darwin is then remembering the one that fell on him, and yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
he
yeah,
he
yeah,
makes
very
up
much.
he makes up for that in pure aggression, and he knows how to hit low.
yeah, and as mentioned, I have seen normal deer get into these. I have seen goats get into this. The critter. Oh no, it's a herbivore. It can't do anything. No, you'd be wrong. That becomes a projectile. That is worse than a crossbow bolt nailing you. And it's several dozen times bigger. Especially in Legs' case.
So, one way of making sure he can't move particularly well without using spell energy is basically having a dire moose dislocate one of its knees.
That is a good.
Ballistic moose.
Dire moose.
Ballistic dire moose.
That is a very good point.
I mean, I generally wouldn't bring him out for anything this big, but we're talking about something that is immune or resistant to more than half of what we do. We need physical attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want Barnabas to attempt doing that charge thing, even though I know it is a, as Flitty puts it, bullman thing to do. Aw.
Yeah, I think because of the size difference, he would lose that contest.
I'm right here.
I know. I'm worried about you. That's why I'm saying this. I don't want you losing that contest. That would lead to you being squished. I need you unsquished.
Yeah, and I want you to talk about me in the first person when I'm in the room.
I will make sure you remain unsquished.
Thank you. Well, I'm gonna go and tell Legs that we've got an outing. Anybody want to come with me while I tell Legs that we have an outing?
I'll tag along.
And anybody who wants to come along and pads along to the riding stable, or at least the riding ring that Legolas runs around in, is you can see your Aembuck furs are all hanging on a line of pegs by the door of that. Ah, they've made it comfortable for Legs. Ava, you might want to grab your fluffies.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and in there, it's the kind of thing that if you weren't wrapped in Aembuck furs would be fucking painful. And Legolas, squeak. Okay, I know you probably want a bit of a run around outside and stuff. Do you mind doing that with a very large metal thing that needs to be trampled and generally charged at? You didn't know that dire moose could grin, but if they can, that is what it looks like. Wonder what the door out is going to look like, because it's going to take a little bit more of the tree to get him out.
He do be big.
That's mostly trying to deal with the antlers, but yeah, that too.
Mm.
But that is a conundrum that we will solve another time, because we are at approximately that time. We've managed to stretch this out so that I didn't have to do this particular kind of combat while dealing with that many people I have to roll for, which is good. So hopefully we can all be here in 2 weeks' time when we deal with Mecha Tiamat. And yes, Smeagol, I have the stats saved, so when this is over, you can look at them. 'Cause I had some fun with this, I have to admit.
It's going to help me refine certain creatures I have made that are constructs. Remember Hashmal?
Not
I
particularly.
have sent you the stat block for Hashmal, the construct thing.
Actually, I probably won't look at it another time because I don't remember exactly where it was, and I have other stuff on my mind. But either way, you'll be able to fight it in 2 weeks. Later, guys.